It's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly on KCMO Talk Radio. Now on 95.7 FM.
So the good from the weekend that I wanted to kick it off with here on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio, is not just the fact that Scottie Scheffler won the Open Championship over the weekend. Not the British Open, they now call it the Open Championship. But it's what came out of it. It's a continued cultural shift that we are seeing from sports that is being applied into our everyday lives. So there was a great moment after Scottie Scheffler won the Open Championship. And he's now one win away from being the 7th golfer ever to win the career Grand Slam. That's where you win all 4 major championships. He just has to win the U.S. Open. He's won 2 majors this year, the PGA and now the British Open. They're all done for the year, so he'll have to wait till next year to try to complete that career Grand Slam and win a U.S. Open. But it was when his child, his infant child, was trying to crawl up the side of the green towards his father, who had just won the Open Championship. And it created this great moment where Scottie walks over to the kid, and, you know, the kid's trying to crawl up and look at the trophy. It was a classic dad-parent moment that is not very relatable, like most of us are never hoisting a championship trophy in front of our infant kid. But from the standpoint of having a moment with your child where you're doing something and they're basically trying to be a part of whatever you're doing, that side of it was highly relatable. And Nike made an ad off of this last night. And if you didn't see it, it's a picture of Scottie Scheffler leaning over with his kid, who is on the green, on his knees. He can't walk yet. He's learning how to crawl. And Scottie's holding onto the putter. His son is holding onto the putter. And it's a picture of them. And then it says at the very top, "You've already won." The implication being, no matter what happens in your life, if you get that moment with your kid, you're a winner. That is the kind of pro-family message that we have not seen from major corporations in years. And is part of a cultural shift that appears to be happening. It was just 2 years ago that Nike was partnering with Dylan Mulvaney for a sports bra campaign. Dylan Mulvaney's the guy who helped destroy Bud Light's credibility a couple of years back. They literally had a biological dude in a sports bra to advertise for Nike. 2 years later, Scottie Scheffler is on a green holding a putter with his infant child with the headline from Nike saying, "You've already won." That is a complete 180 from where we've been when it comes to sports and culture combining in this country. We spent 4 years of basically what's up is down, what's down is up, what's left is right, what's right is left. None of it made any sense. It was appealing to the wokest of the woke in our culture. And now to have just Scottie Scheffler, everyday guy, on the green with his kid, and Nike promoting this, saying basically your family, being a father, is what makes you a winner in life no matter what you do professionally, no matter what he does on the golf course after he wins an Open Championship. That's a moment right there. And that is a major change from where we've been in this country over the last few years. So that was the good from the weekend. Not just Scottie's dominant win, but what it led to with Nike advertising that was a complete about-face from the last few years. The bad from the weekend is the ongoing saga coming out of Coldplay's concert last week. Andy Byron, the CEO of Astronomer, has resigned his post in what will go down as the most expensive Coldplay tickets in American history, John. This is
kidding.
Next level.
Yeah, talk about dynamic pricing there. You know, we were talking earlier about the best place for them to go would have been maybe Penway Point on the Ferris wheel because nobody would see you there, right?
Yeah, just the 4-foot-tall weaves would have seen him around the corner. That's about it. Oh, that's outstanding. So Andy Byron resigned as the CEO of Astronomer days after being caught on video in an intimate moment with the company's head of human resources. Astronomer saying in a statement, Andy Byron has tendered his resignation and the board of directors has accepted. The board will begin a search for their next chief executive as co-founder and chief product officer Pete DeJoy continues to serve as interim CEO. This comes after Byron was shown on a big screen at the concert in Boston on Wednesday with his arms around Chief People Officer, basically HR Chief, Kristen Cabot. Both are married, and of course, this led to the most viral moment of 2025 that had Major League Baseball stadiums over the weekend doing their own Coldplay cams. We are in an environment right now that is broken from the standpoint of there are very few things in the world and in our country that everybody talks about around the water cooler anymore. TV shows are so fragmented, movies are fragmented. Everything that we basically consume is based on what your interests are because there's so much to consume out there. This is by far the first time in a long time that we've had something like this culturally that everybody has latched onto. That's not like political or sports. So this moment led to all of America over the weekend partaking in Coldplay cams at Major League Baseball stadiums. It has taken on a massive life of its own, but I do feel for basically the innocent people who were impacted, the spouses, the kids, just absolute sadness for them. But it has led to a viral moment for America. The ugly from the weekend. Let's get to that here on KCMO Talk Radio. We had 2 men killed in Kansas City in a shooting at a convenience store at Truman in Brooklyn at about 1:15 yesterday afternoon. Middle of the day, and the police showed up. They rendered aid, but by the time EMS was there, these 2 individuals had died. KCPD did take a suspect into custody. They are not looking for anybody else at this time. But one thing that we sadly have not talked enough about is that the homicide numbers in Kansas City are the second highest of the past 5 years at this point in time. We're ahead of last year. The only year that is beating this year so far in homicides is 2023, when we set a record with 182 homicides in Kansas City, Missouri. So far this year, we have 89. At this point last year, we were at 82. At this point in 2021, we were at 84. At this point in 22, we were at 86. Only 2023, when we were at 111, have we had more homicides year-to-date in the past 5 years than what we have so far this year. And while I think Melissa Johnson, the Jackson County prosecutor, is doing a good job, there's still a lot of work to be done. There's your good, bad, and ugly.